Hi, welcome back to another game of Steel Division. Today I'm going to be using the first DFL French Infantry Battle Group, going up against the Vertischgang Beresch Toulon German Infantry Battle Group. And just before we jump in, I'll quickly show the two decks. We'll first look at the first DFL French Infantry Battle Group, and it's a very heavy infantry deck, a lot of expensive infantry as well, such as the Bimps and the Legionnaires. What I decided to go with is bringing up a card of Bimps and a card of Trailers in Phase A, so that you can pair these together. You get a few extra units and at a lower cost, so you can bring more out onto the board. The Chocks work really well in close quarters, so trying to put them at the back end of the tree line or in some buildings that blocked off so that they have to get within range of your flame grenades can be quite useful. I'll bring up some leaders with them just to keep them vetted. Then in Phase B, the same thing, bring up the Bimps with the Trailers, but then you also have access to the Legionnaires. So bringing up a Legionnaire squad with the Legionnaire Sappers are quite useful, since you can hit them from the long range. If they do manage to get close, then you can hit them with the Sappers. And then Phase C, I left the Sapeurs for this one because they are pretty much an all-rounder squad. You have the TNT and the Bazooka. At only 25 cost, I figured once that Maverick deployment type gets to Phase C, you'll still be able to bring up a few of these. In the armor side, the M4A1 is great for supporting your infantry until they have tanks of their own, so you're going to have to rely on these Cannon 57mm to help you out. I also got the heavy artillery, the HM1s, which are going to be softening up the areas before we make our push. And last but not least, I'll bring up the M3 howitzer. This thing is great because it has 1500 meter range with its heat shells, which makes it a little bit better than the IG-33, so putting that to good use. You only get 3 of them in Phase A, but they're also very useful. Next up is the Vertischgang Beresch Toulon, which is a German infantry battle group that fought in Normandy. This has some pretty good infantry units as well, quite costly, at 35 cost for these Brandenburger and KM Boot Besetzung, along with the Maro, very powerful close range infantry unit. You've got the IG-33s that can support your infantry. They do have a little bit of lack of armor, only being able to bring up these Stug 3Gs in Phase A. You can bring up the light tanks. Some people do like to do that. I prefer not to because they're so slow and feel like a little bit of a waste, since just regular AT guns and rifles can take them out. But where this deck seems to excel is with its AA. So you can bring up a whole bunch of AA if you want to. I decided just to bring up 2 cards in each phase, except for Phase A, bring up just the Flak 38s. These are great at supporting your infantry. They work similar to like an MG42, except they can also harass the sky. In Phase B, bring up the Flakling and the Flak 41 helps you with not only supporting your infantry and dealing with armor, but you can also keep the skies covered, which is great because you also get to bring up the JU-88s in Phase B. Phase C, bring up the Flaxwilling and the Flak 38, even more powerful AA and more powerful anti-infantry and anti-tank, and then also bring up more JU-88s. That was kind of the idea behind this deck, was to push with the infantry and support them using the AA and the JU-88s. Not to mention there is some really powerful artillery in this deck as well. You've got the 340mm off map, the heavy artillery, which I went up in cost, so because it's a balanced type, I started off with the mortars, the 81mm, then Phase B bring up the 100mm, and then Phase C bring up the big boys with the 149mm. So let's get started. So over on the right side, I'm just setting up a defensive force. I've got a bazooka squad, a MG, a AT gun, a trailers, and a chock squad. The chock squad is going to be heading over to the back end of this forest, just to make sure nothing pushes across this river. And the rest of them are going to be setting up just in this forest and in these buildings here. Do you have an ME410 showing up? This bazooka is going deep into the forest. Meanwhile, I've got a MG in the back, a howitzer, and a cannon 55mm. They're going to be providing support from this ridge. We've got some chocks and some trailers going to protect this forest. And the rest of these guys are all heading with another howitzer and some infantry jumping over into this forest. And the idea is that we're going to try to push up into these buildings. Over here, just another defensive force with some bimps and trailers with an MG. And then over on the left, we've got a leader squad, trailers and bimps, trailers, chocks, bimps, and a leader squad with a bazooka, just in case anything tried to rush across this bridge. Which they did over here. We did miss it, but there was a recon squad that got real deep and ran straight into a rocket. So not too much action is going to happen on the right side just yet. MG forcing our bazooka back. We do manage to capture this flag for a second. I'm going to bring up a couple of M8s for supporting our infantry push across this river. See our guys just make their way over. The idea is that these guys are going to try and get into some buildings here, secure the back end of the town, and then the rest of these guys are going to push up and try to deal with what they've got up here. Do have a couple of stugs here which are going to be a bit troubling since I don't have any AT just yet. So bring up a cannon, an MG as well. That's going to be sitting here and providing cover as our guys move forward to deal with whatever's across the bridge. So over on the centre, just trying to move these trailers and chocks and getting our howitzer into position. The Spitfire did get behind the ME410, but because it's doing a bombing run, I think it's just completely pointless. So moving forward, we are getting hit by that. We've taken out our M8s, unfortunately. We were out of range, out of sight of the Stealth 3, which I thought would be good, but I didn't realise that part was there. So brought up the Spitfire to deal with it. And we're now just starting to fall back since we were under bombardment from those morning ships. Bazooka squad. Taking out the Stug just as we get hit by a mortar shell, so we're very lucky there. But we've now dealt with both of those tanks there. The M3, I did forget to move that forward, probably going to get down. Over in the centre, managed to secure these buildings, and over in the right, not too much happening there. Looks like we've taken out another vehicle that tried to push forward. Stug. So a lot of the focus now over on this left side, as our forces are a little bit weak, but trying to engage with those marine containers. So this is a single sniper mine squad, but annoying to deal with. And for A4 also just sitting back here, I've just brought that up, and the idea was to tuck it behind these trees so that the Stug is still out of range, but we can support our infantry. So more reinforcements now coming in to build some trailers. The AI does a really good job of bringing up the Stugs with the Marlies together. It's a very good use of the tanks. We've even got a Stug 3 leader. Since they are open top, I'm just trying to hit them with my Spitfires. Some more trailers and bimps in the bottom there. They're going to help push into the town. A couple more M8s. Another M4A4 also coming in to support. Not too much happening elsewhere. Our tanks are now engaged. We managed to get a critical hit and at their sides, which I think is the only thing that's safe this time. Light goes down. Goes down. Probably gonna go down as well. Enough hits from the M3 does knock out Stug as well. I was a little bit surprised since it only has 70 pen, but we did get it in the end there. So now with the armor out of the way, I felt pretty safe to put up my infantry again. So you can just see the way that the trailers and the beams work well together. So we've got the 10 P17s and the FM 2429, whereas the beams have 8 P17s with the double brand, the double Thompson, and the bazooka. DF109 coming in again for a bombing run. Let's take out a couple of bimps. We are in phase B now, so I can start to finally deal with that air by bringing up a couple of Bofors and a whole bunch of infantry now, getting ready to push up. And the idea is to get these guys to push across the river and set up a bit of a defensive force on the other end of the river. Because we keep getting caught out by that mech recon squad. And the rest of the front's pretty quiet at the moment. But there is some action happening over here in the center. I managed to hit some stragglers. The only downside to these guns is that they are only AP shells, so they're only going to be dealing with armor. Legion squads, because they've got hand smoke, need to fire. Here's my 8th factor. Legion there with a double bar, and the TNT, triple Thompson, and 8 P17s, and then the Pioneers with the double flamethrower, 17s and triple Thompson. So these are just really powerful squads. They also have a 13-man squad, so and 12-man squad, so you get a lot out of these squads. They do manage to catch out of Pioneers, which is a bit unfortunate since our Legionnaires and our Fleets don't have Rising. Very powerful, but they're see those Bofors just pushing recon plane. M4 coming in for the assist, trying to push them back. The damage's already done. Probably should have made use of my smoke, but it's a little bit too late. The trailer is going for a little bit of a risky play. The idea was to hop between these forests and then try and get close enough to steal this flag. Spitfire coming in for a bomb run. Because he is on the move, so we do misjudge this, sorry. Do manage to stress him out though. So we're now across the river, which is going to make it a lot harder for him to reinforce down this road. He's going to have to come through this way. Got our commander coming as well. We are taking a bit of damage though in the center. Can't really deal with this stug since we've got us a howitzer, which I think is just out of range, so we've got a mech squad that's just taking shots. And then over on the right, a whole bunch of units are moving forward into this town and putting a lot of pressure onto our trailers. So I've brought up some heavy artillery, which is now going to start dealing with that. Since I've invested a lot of money over onto this left side. Got a couple of cannons moving up. This is a bit risky, just trying to cross this bridge. But I figured if I could just get it into this forest, which would be fine, and then this other one back here. Marder trying to catch out our trailers. Try back up there. As I aim forward, just make sure that they can't try to outflank us in the back there. We've also got another howitzer coming up. And finishing up the M8 onto the other side. So we've done a pretty good job at holding this area. Some infantry coming down the road there in the centre. It's missing its target. Down. Chocks aren't going to stand much of a chance at long range, so they're also going to go down. And I can't remember why the trailers are actually out here. They were supposed to just stay back here. Maybe I brought them up just to see what was there, and now they're getting pretty hurt there by those grenadier squads.
Objectif réduit en poussière.
Howitzer does take out the Marder. Just brought up some more trailers to try and hold this side of the river. So you see that the artillery just pushing them back. Ju-88. And there goes our cannon and MG. Do manage to force those marine infantry back though, since we are housed and they were out in the open. Over on the left, some more infantry coming up, and the idea is to get them over to this forest here. And just rely on that M4A1 M4A4 to try and provide supporting fire as in there's some heavy artillery just trying to hit that position, since I did see a lot of units building up there.
Ah merde! On est foutu!
And they've actually come across this river, which I didn't notice at first, but they've managed to secure both these flags and pushing pretty deep. Both is coming up to stop any more of the J-88s pushing forward. Our armatures kicking that infantry back. I've also got this AG-33, which unfortunately does spot my units pushing forward, and that's a bit of a problem for me, so I'm going to have to try to deal with that. There were some more reinforcements. They're going to be heading into the town. And then some more M10A1s to help me with trying to push back in, or trying to push this down here.
On est foutu! Ah, je suis touché!
We managed to get into the forest though, but we were under quite a lot of fire there, so... In the centre, this was pretty unfortunate since the trailers are not able to help us because they don't have line of sight, even though they're so close to this forest. Bring up some armor. We managed to recapture this flag temporarily. I've also brought up some reinforcements here, and they're going to be pushing to the right and trying to re-secure this area. Meanwhile, I have put up some infantry into the town at night, using our M10A1s for support. We do get pushed out of here. There's just too many forces, and our units were just too pinned down. Our armor also got knocked out, so we had no supported fire. We've also lost our engagement in these buildings. Alts are doing a good job of just keeping them back though, as more reinforcements start to arrive. So we're now making our way over. And we're kind of doing like a double push. We've got these guys pushing this way and these guys pushing this way.
Enfin sur le sol de France.
And our artillery kind of stopped firing for a little while. I also brought up these two units here, just in case they had pushed all the way out here. We're going to kind of stop that in their tracks.
Attention, prise à proximité.
Do you spot some Brandenburger?
Je vois du mouvement, soyez prêts.
Meanwhile, we press it up to deal with some more Brandenburger. recapturing that flag.
Prêt à
Commandos
l'action.
and Sepoys did get caught out by the Brandenburger, but now that the MK1 is close enough, we should have no problem finishing it off. Got an M4A4 at the back there as well. So now that we are so far into the game, we can start to bully them with our armor since
Droit dans le mille.
they've already used up their studs. But we are in phase C, so they're going to have a lot of infantry that they can bring up, along with those AA weapons.
Attention, prise à proximité. Un médecin.
This M4A1, A4 was meant to be coming up here,
Oui, mon commandant.
but because it's on a firing order, decided to start taking some shots from infantry unit back there. We want to make sure that we can hold this position.
Cible neutralisée.
It's coming in for support.
Tout le monde à terre. Bien joué, tireur. Un médecin. Je décroche. Retraite. Les Allemands, préparez-vous. Prêt à faire feu.
Heavy artillery finally got its positioning right, but we'd already taken out that.
En voilà un qui ne nous emmerdera plus. Ah, je suis touché.
Some more Brandenburger, they are quite close, so they're going to be able to get their grenades off onto our MK1, so we just need to try to back
Mon
it up.
commandant. Un médecin.
Try to bring up the support a bit closer.
Ah, on les a virés.
The rest of our units did get pretty caught out. I think there was a few units in here that did quite a bit of damage.
Brise-moi devant, en formation.
Let's get this one
On nous tire
going.
dessus.
So we do manage to re-secure this
Brise-moi devant,
forest
en
now.
formation.
Some more
Arrière.
reinforcements coming up. They're going to make their way over to the center. And now that we lost that trailer squad, I probably could have brought some more reinforcements up here, just to make sure that we do control that flag, maybe some more armor.
Ah, je suis touché.
But with so much happening elsewhere,
On l'a eu.
I decided to push over on the right instead, see if I can make a play for this flag.
Cible neutralisée. On est touché. Les Allemands, préparez-vous. Un médecin. Ah, on les a virés. Morphine, on a besoin de morphine ici. Nobile. Les Allemands, préparez-vous. Droit dans le mille. Nobile. Ennemi neutralisé.
We managed to knock out that IG-33, but we are lacking the infantry here, so I'm going to try to put in some more legionnaire squads. We do manage to capture this flag here. Even though we do know that it's not making it clear. Most of our tanks moving up. The idea is that these tanks are going to group up here and then try to make a push for these buildings. In the center, just trying to get all these guys over. Maybe even make a play for this flag here. And then on the left, everything's pretty much stabilized and we're just going to sit on the defense.
Commando, à vos ordres. Un médecin.
A bunch of infantry now coming up.
Bien joué les gars. On nous tire dessus. Cochon vu. Tenez-vous prêts. I'm a goose at Christmas. Merde, mon corps est touché. À ma terre. Droit dans le mille.
Let's get some more units that are dying over here.
Fermez-la, écoutez le capitaine.
Just trying to make sure that we don't lose this flag.
Tenez-vous prêts. Ah, je suis touché. Enfin sur le sol de France. À ma terre. Ennemi en vue, préparez-vous. On est à court d'obus. Ah, je suis touché. Je vois du mouvement, soyez prêts. Objectif réduit en poussière. Je vois du mouvement, soyez prêts. Ennemi en vue, préparez-vous.
Forcing out those buildings, giving us this flag as well. And just a great push over onto there, try to see if we get that, but with that is game with 2200 kills and 1400 losses. But thank you for watching.